Hello everybody. So yeah, like we said, my name is William Holmes. I've been at Fortinet for 3 years now. Systems engineer within the Fortinet UKI team. I look after the Southeast region. And yeah, I did this talk last year in Birmingham. So thanks to the guys for inviting Fortinet back and myself back on the stage. So the last time I actually did a talk, I talked about ZTNA. The reason I'm talking about ZTNA here on the slide is that SASE actually has a lot of the components within ZTNA. So you want to think of SASE as like ZTNA 2.0. If you want to go and watch that later on as well, you can just search William Holmes, systems engineer, shameless plug there, but I imagine this will probably be recorded again. So if you want to share it with any of other colleagues after today about SASE, you're free to do that as well. Slow slides today. So a quick show of hands. Has anyone actually heard of SASE? Do we understand the concept of SASE? So a few people in the room. Okay, that's quite cool. That's good. So it's actually a relatively new concept. It's one of those buzzwords. A couple of years ago, it was SDN, SD-WAN, ZTNA. We're now up to SASE. And depending on what kind of marketing material you're reading, you're going to get a different kind of definition of SASE. But before I go into the definition of what SASE really is, let's just have a look at why a lot of the customers that I'm seeing and organizations are starting to look at SASE and maybe want to start moving towards putting SASE into their organizations, protecting against distributed edge, their users, their services, and their applications. So on the slide here, I've got 4 main trends that we at Fortinet have kind of identified and want to address. And a lot of them are COVID-driven. And I think COVID has been a massive thing for why a lot of organizations are moving in that digital transformation. Starting off with remote workers. Everyone worked in an office before. You were all protected behind a firewall that me as an IT admin I have put in. And then COVID hits. We all start working from home, and you're all sat behind a BT, a TalkTalk, a broadband router. And I think I would pretty confident to say that that firewall that I've put in is definitely more secure, protects you from the attacks out there, versus your BT TalkTalk broadband router that you've got at home at the moment. So we've got a massive increase in remote workers. Secondly, because of that remote workers, we're using VPNs. So our remote workers now working from home are having to VPN, encrypt all of their data to access that information in the corporate network. But we're seeing that by next year, almost 3/4 of organizations will be using ZTNA. So yes, ZTNA that I talked about last year, ZTNA is basically VPN 2.0 if you want to think of it like that. So instead of just VPNing to the corporate network to access all of your resources, ZTNA also continuously checks that end user to make sure that they've got the latest firmware installed, the latest antivirus software installed. They haven't got any malware attacks downloaded. So those continuous checks, and then also allowing and deciding what sort of applications those remote workers are allowed to use. We're also seeing a SaaS adoption, so a lot of organizations are moving towards a hybrid cloud model. Instead of having all of your apps and servers all in the data center now, we're moving them into the cloud, AWS, Azure. And so making sure that our remote workers or our workers that are working anywhere from the world now can access those applications in the cloud or in the data center. They don't have to go to the data center and back out and trombone traffic. And then finally, vendor consolidation. So I'm actually seeing a lot of this in my customer base at the moment, particularly in public sector. A lot of customers want to kind of move towards only having one vendor within their organization, because it just means that you have to train less staff to learn all of those products. There's lower licensing costs. So for example, the FortiGate firewall can manage switches and APs, license-free, out of the box, ready to go. So a lot of organizations are wanting to move to one vendor. There you go. So all of these challenges have actually all of these trends have presented 3 major challenges. In order for me to do my job successfully, I'm going to work in a manner that's most effective to me, especially when sharing and accessing data. So if I want to share a Word document with a customer, and it's not easy to do so, I may go and open up a Dropbox, put my Word document in there and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, you can now access my Word document and have a look at that. I'm only just trying to do my job well. But this actually opens up a massive security breach. Now, for non-IT, non-security folk, this might be fine, it might seem okay. But for me, I'm a security IT admin, this is a complete nightmare. Who has access to that data? Where is that data sat? Has it been compromised? Etc., etc. So this is known as shadow IT. This is where a business does not know the applications that are being used within an organization. And actually, it is reported last year that 83% of customers have shadow IT within their network. Actually, in public sector, again, within my patch that I cover, or just public sector in general, there have been nearly thousands of unknown applications. So again, me as an IT admin, where do I even begin to look to see where those applications are being used, or why my workers or employees are looking to use those applications? So this kind of explosion of shadow IT has caused customer IT teams that lack of visibility and also inconsistent security and security gaps as well. Now, let's imagine your business gets hit with a ransomware attack. You've got multiple different products as well. They're all spitting out different alerts, and you're kind of going a little bit chaotic. You don't really know where to look as well. There's a skills shortage, and there's kind of the inability to really see where that attack is coming from. During this period, the attacker has managed to infiltrate your network. It's managed to find and get everything that they need to. And during that time, your business is losing tens of millions of thousands of pounds and dollars. So pre-COVID, this may have taken maybe a few days to infiltrate. But after COVID, now that our workers are now working remote, they're sitting around behind a Sky TalkTalk BT broadband, this can now actually take minutes to infiltrate. So simply due to those security gaps and lack of visibility. So, a definition of what SASE is. It stands for Secure Access Service Edge. And it's essentially a collection of two products or two methods of working. First of all, we've got SD-WAN, and I think a lot of organizations are now using SD-WAN. I think a lot of my customers know and use SD-WAN. Basically, it just means you're deciding which applications are going down which link within your network, and you can kind of build in disaster recovery across the wide area network. And then there's the combination of SSE, Secure Service Edge. These are your cloud-hosted security solutions. There are some pure plays out there. There's some new entrants as well. I think Microsoft recently released a version of their own. So SASE is basically a combination of SD-WAN and SSE together, and Gartner coins that term SASE. So you're mixing cloud-delivered security with SD-WAN. So it's not a product, albeit Fortinet has a product of SASE. It's called FortiSASE, revolutionary name, I know, but it's more of a concept or an ideology. But the idea of SASE can still breed a lot of challenges that I've already talked about so far. So we've still got multiple different management products within your network that you're having to manage. We kind of might reduce that a little bit by using managed service providers, the SSE that I've just talked about, or the SaaS applications. But the inclusion of SD-WAN thrown into that can just add another product in there into the mix that causes a lot of headache. We're also still relying on a lot of different methods to protect that expanded network. So our users working from anywhere, coffee shops, at home, we're expanding that attack surface now. So we want to make sure that we've got the same consistent security, not just within your network, but across to your workers as well. And again, that lack of visibility, shadow IT. Where do I know where that malware attack is coming from? So SASE is great, but it still doesn't solve these issues. So Gartner came up with another term. It is their job at the end of the day to come up with cool terms, single vendor SASE. So this is the idea of having a true vendor consolidation. One single product that delivers not just networking visibility from the end user all the way up to your organization, but also business continuity, disaster recovery, zero trust, ZTNA, CASB, web filtering, IPS, SD-WAN, all of that, one product, one single management platform, all removing all of the headache, all into one product itself. So You're leaving the ability for customers to train less staff. There's more budget now. You can use that budget to keep the business secure or keep the business moving forwards. You're protecting all of your endpoints, everyone in the network, all rolled into the same reporting platform, the same product as well. So it allows us to just provide one training for one product and one service. So I've talked about SASE or Gartner, how Gartner coined SASE in their terms. How do Fortinet do it? Well, like I've mentioned with FortiSASE. So we're actually in quite a unique situation where Fortinet is first and foremost a cybersecurity at the heart. It's actually one of the largest. We also have already all of the products that we need and the components we need built in-house for SASE. So we already do ZTNA, CASB, SD-WAN. This is built into our FortiGate in the firewalls license-free. So we've already got all of that ready. We've also got a team of over 450 threat analysts with the help of AI and machine learning. We're constantly looking and checking all of the threats that are happening 1 million times a day, and then we're publishing those threats out to our customers and our partners for them to be able to action and remediate against any current attacks that are happening within the world. And then finally, looking at SD-WAN, Gartner ranks us as the top right in the Gartner Magic Quadrant. We're highest in the ability to execute, have been for a number of years now. So we've got everything ready for that single vendor SASE that Gartner are talking about, and then bringing these two together, we can give you that one management platform, that one reporting platform, removing all of the headache through a product of FortiSASE. So, from a business outcome perspective, hopefully it's come across what I've been talking to you about today. We're massively overcoming those security gaps with the things that we've seen today, no matter where your users are sitting on the network, off the network, within the network. We can decide how those users can connect, what they can connect to. We're constantly checking them as well to make sure they've got the latest antivirus software, etc. Those finance teams, maybe we hit another pandemic. We've got monkeypox now, and now that finance team has to work from home. They can only access finance information within your data center. And this also makes it easier for users as well. The user experience is increased as well. So again, I work in the IT team, the support team. A support ticket comes in that just says, internet is not working. For me, that's a complete nightmare. How do I, someone's nodding in the audience, how do I kind of remediate that? Well, if I'm using SASE, I can drill down and I can have a look. Oh, this user's sitting in site A. He's using link B. He's trying to access this application. So I can drill down and quickly remediate that issue that they're having, giving a better user experience. So it's not just about having a billion security tools and unlimited budget, protecting everything that you can, because you're still going to get hit every single day from malware and security attacks. It's about bringing overall operational overhead down, making it easier for IT teams and users that are using the network, and actually being able to demonstrate to the business a much better return on investment, a much better user experience. And then the ability to then use that money to hire more staff or train less staff, and you can keep the business running, etc., etc. So, I think I rattled through that quite quickly. So yeah, my name's William Holmes. We're outside on the stand in the back right corner. If you want to come to talk to me later on about SASE or any of the other products that Fortinet have, come say hello. Another shameless plug there, LinkedIn, if you want to add me on there. Thank you very much.
Super.